Monday, October 23rd. So this weekend, most people have probably heard Corey Feldman was arrested on tour in Louisiana for marijuana possession, although it wasn't even his marijuana, it was members of his crew. Let's hear what really happened from Corey himself. Straight from the source, Corey Feldman. Hi everybody, happy 22nd. For the record, I was not arrested or put in jail. Received a misdemeanor in Louisiana due to a member of my crew having medical marijuana. With legal California prescription, I had nothing on me, but was charged because it was my bus. Also, 5 others were charged due to having legal medicines without their particular bottles. No illegal or street drugs were found on the bus at all, which is why nobody spent the night in jail. However, we were promised that these charges could all be dropped with the proof of proper scripts. It was a bit of a good old shakedown. After we paid them in cash, they asked for pics and autographs, and then called the local paper to do interviews. I do find the timing of all this ironic, but have no fear, we are headed to Houston, and we will perform the benefit concert tonight to help raise money. So Joe Rogan was brought to my attention about making fun of Corey being molested and shit. Check it out.
The fuck is going on? He's got like a little bit of a paunch that's hanging out over the bottom of his jacket. His jacket's like a little too short. Like it was probably the same jacket he was wearing when he was getting diddled. Back when he was like 10. You don't think that girl's really playing guitar?
No, unless there's only one note in the whole song.
Yeah, she's playing guitar. I've been a guitarist for 26 years. She's definitely playing guitar. So some people were pretty pissed off about that, but he realized it and he did apologize.
Before we do this, I have to apologize. I have to apologize for something I said last Tuesday, in passing. We were watching a Corey Feldman clip, and Corey Feldman was doing this crazy dance, and Greg Fitzsimmons was in, and Corey Feldman had some little tight jacket on. It's this weird song he was singing. And I said that jacket, was he wearing that jacket when he was young and he got diddled? I was trying to make Greg laugh, right? You're trying to say fucked up things to make comedians laugh, which is what we do when we get together. We say the most heinous shit. But I felt terrible after somebody pointed it out. Like, I didn't even remember saying it. Someone pointed it out, and then Saturday I watched it, and I felt so terrible because the clip, especially like out of context, like it's just me laughing about him getting diddled,
right? And
it's horrible.
Anything that's taken out of context like that's going to make you feel weird if you don't see that.
Yes, but there's no excuse. Like what it is, you swing at a lot of pitches when you're doing live podcasts, and sometimes you hit yourself in the dick with the bat, and that's what I did. It was totally wrong. It wasn't funny. I took a swing. It was the wrong thing to do. It was the best way to describe it is, it was thoughtless. Because I really didn't think. I was just trying to say something fucked up to make Greg laugh. I wasn't thinking like this is a real person. And I watched him the other day in a movie, man. I saw him in Gremlins. I was watching Gremlins with my kids. Yeah. After, actually, we did the podcast. Before I watched the clip, though. Because I hadn't seen, I do it and then I'm done with it. But I didn't think about it. I said, first of all, he was doing the Michael Jackson thing. He wears a Michael Jackson jacket and he dances like Michael Jackson. He said Michael Jackson didn't even do anything to him, so it didn't even make sense. It was just a stupid line to say. But I felt terrible. I couldn't sleep Saturday night. I felt really bad. I felt really bad. I felt bad for a bunch of reasons. One, I felt bad because it's a mean thing to say. And I didn't mean it to be, even though it was. I was just trying to be funny. Patrice O'Neal said something once when he was defending Opie and Anthony. He was saying, when someone says something really funny, or the same person says something really fucked up, it all comes from the same place. Like they're trying to do the same thing. They just miss, But that was without a doubt the worst miss. The most embarrassing to me, the most depressing, the most, what's the best way to describe it? Just so disappointed that I did that. Because he was a kid, I don't even think he actually got molested. I think he was actually saying that Corey Haim got molested and he didn't.
Well, that would make sense why Corey Haim did so much drugs, you know, if he did get molested, but...
Well, I started looking into this shit more and more recently, like Hollywood molestation with children. It's no joke, man. Like, just as it's no joke with sexual harassment and assault with women, what you see with this Harvey Weinstein thing, and these other directors now are getting in trouble for the same thing, the same kind of shit happened to a lot of kids that were involved in these child movies. You don't think about that when you're just trying to crack a joke. And I just want everybody to know if you were disappointed, if you were disappointed in me, there's no way you were more disappointed in me than I'm disappointed in me.
To me, he sounds sincere, but I realize that everybody makes mistakes and everybody says dumb shit sometimes on accident. We're all human.
They would go to the auditions and so forth to try to pick the ones that they wanted.
At one point he said, you know what, why don't you just take off your clothes? Take off your clothes and let me see what you look like.
I've already mentioned Martin Weiss before, but we're going to mention him again.
The manager also allegedly abused the late Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Feldman told us it didn't end there.
When I look back at a picture of when I was 15 years old and I was surrounded by 5 men and every one of those men in that photograph is a pedophile, that's a pretty big problem. I was molested and I said yes. I allowed it to happen, but I was a child.
You've seen their faces. One alleged victim had roles in What's Eating Gilbert Grape and The Apostle. Another is an aspiring musician who was violated when he was just 11 years old. Meet Evan Henze. He is just one of 5 telling their stories in the documentary An Open Secret. The 21-year-old says he was abused for 5 years by his manager, Marty Weiss, who was convicted for his sex crimes on Evan in 2012.
Do you remember that first time?
Yeah, I do.
What happened?
We went to the park and we played basketball. So it was that night he touched me. At 11, I didn't know it was improper. It just didn't make any sense to me. He made me feel like I have to do that in order to get any job. He was just saying this was common in the industry. He said, oh, if you have sex with me, then we'll go to SeaWorld the next day.
When did you finally decide, I have to tell someone?
At 18. I tape recorded an hour-long conversation, and I asked him straightforward, why did you abuse me?
And how did he respond?
He responded and said that you were coming on to me at 12. That was not the case.
It was that recording that helped put Weiss behind bars.
People don't want to be the first to call out. People don't want to be the whistleblower. And what's sick is children are being abused. Children are being fondled. It sickens me. I don't want to be a part of that.
Hi, I'm Beverly Randolph. I played Tina in Return of the Living Dead.
I'm Linnea Quigley. No, wait, I'm Brian Peck, and I played Scuzz in Return of the Living Dead. I grew my hair back, as you can see in the intervening
Exclusive pedophile X-Men actor convicted of sexually abusing Nickelodeon child star is still working with underage kids. Brian Peck served 16 months in prison after admitting 2 counts of abusing a Nickelodeon child actor.
Didn't she get her makeup all over someone's car upholstery?
Oh my goodness, yes. The producer, Graham Henderson, had a gorgeous Jaguar, and all that makeup she had on her stained his leather seats.
What was she doing naked in the producer's Jaguar?
Trying to stay warm.
Or keep her job.
He was charged with 8 counts of sexual abuse, including abuse by anesthesia or controlled substance. Actor 54 was in 2 X-Men movies and all 3 Living Dead movies, and is now featured in a controversial documentary on pedophile abuse in Hollywood.
Yeah, you had your hands in everything, as usual.
Not the cast.
Since release from prison, he has been a dialogue coach, worked on Disney series, and played a teacher, and claims to be friends with Charlie Sheen. Only banned from direct contact with children, so he's able to work on children's series and sets with underage actors.
Please feel sorry for me.
So Brian Peck's in 2 X-Men movies? That's kind of weird because Bryan Singer is allegedly a pedophile too. X-Men 2000, directed by Bryan Singer. Brian Peck, hot dog stand patron. X-Men 2, 2003, Bryan Singer, executive producer. Brian Peck, news reporter. Brian Peck's been in a lot of shows too, like Growing Pains, 7 episodes. All that, 11 episodes. And if he molested somebody from Nickelodeon, it makes me wonder. And by now you've probably heard of the James Toback scandal. Is that his name?
Tonight, a new bombshell. Hollywood director James Toback now being accused by at least 38 women of sexual harassment and assault. The LA Times speaking to women who say he approached them in an array of places. New York City Central Park, in line at a bank, or even at a copy center. Some accusers claim Toback, who wrote the 1991 film Bugsy, would use the film as a pickup line.
Let me guess. I'll bet Esther lives her life faithful to her one and only Ben, who plays around like a jackrabbit on the side and lies about it through his teeth.
Others claiming he would brag about actors he worked with, like Robert Downey Jr.
Every woman that I've ever liked or communed with or given great satisfaction to always started off as a complete stranger.
Echo Dannon, who acted in Toback's black and white movie, tweeting, "If you were involved in the film business in the 90s, you knew that hashtag Harvey Weinstein was a sexual predator. Another one was hashtag James Toback." Toback denies the allegation, saying for the last 22 years it has been biologically impossible due to diabetes and a heart condition.
Here's a couple quotes of other people accusing James Toback. I felt like a prostitute, an utter disappointment to myself, my parents, and my friends. And I deserve not to tell anyone. Adrienne LaValle, actress. Louise Post, guitarist and vocalist for Veruca Salt. He told me he'd love nothing more than to masturbate while looking into my eyes. Fucking stoned.
People don't want to be the whistleblower. And what's sick is children are being abused. Children are being fondled.